The Boer Offensive in the Orange Free State, March to April of 1900. Glenn Siding of the Australian Horse recalls, quote, 28th of March 1900, left camp today about 1 p.m, had dinner while saddling up, consisting of mutton and bread, no tucker served out. Am riding a small pony with my feet near the ground, a grand pony. Only 50 turned out of 130, no horses for the rest. The other regiments in the brigade just the same. The rest had to walk and lead the sick horses, passed through Bloemfontein, saw the military funerals, thousands of mounted infantry and guns all making the same way, north to Bloemfontein, crossed river about 7, watered horses, got to camp about 8 p.m, had tea consisting of 3 bites of bread and biscuits and drink of dirty water, set picket and laid down. Through some bloomer we were in the wrong place, so we saddled up again and moved 4 miles west. Our lines were on a hard road and I had left my blanket in the wagon. I got into a greatcoat and slept. Transport's not yet come up, nothing for the horses to eat. 29th of March 1900, saddled up this morning at 4:30, no breakfast for horse or man. There appeared to be a very large camp last night, about 12 men in each troop, and neither Thompson or Vaughan are with us. Wilkerson is in command. Captain commanding Robert Rowland Thompson, Lieutenant Percy William Vaughan, Lieutenant John Frederick Moore Wilkinson, 1st Australian Horse. I am at present troop leader. Only 10 men in number 1 troop. Moved off with Greys, Carbineers, Inniskillings and New South Wales Lancers, and battery of Royal Horse Artillery. Watered horses about 6:30. Saw bridge which Boers had blown up. Had no breakfast. 12:30 a.m. getting very hungry. For breakfast had the scrapings of haversack, consisting of matches and tobacco and biscuits. For dinner absolutely nothing but a drink, and took 2 holes up in my belt, but managed to buy a bit of hay for the pony. After dinner we moved off through our brilliant CO, did some rotten scouting and a gallop through timber, and he got well sworn at. We did not discover the enemy. We then came back and the brigade advanced to try and cut off the enemy as the 7th Division were clearing them out of their position. We got near a big kopje on a plain and our guns started shelling, and suddenly, without a word of warning, whilst we were between the Greys and Carbineers, taking it easy, smoking and yarning, a shrapnel shell burst about 6 yards in the air and 4 yards in front of the left and number 1 troop. We were, both men and horses, fairly paralysed with the dust and smell, and our horses wheeled round. I saw 2 come down on my left and turned round to help them, but got sworn at and told to come on. J. Bonner next to me jumped off and was told to come on, but said if J.C. himself told me not to get off and go and see what had happened to my brother, I would disobey him. Poor Billy Bonner got blown out of his saddle backwards. He was riding next to his brother Jack. The latter came next to me and we were just discussing the results of artillery fire when the shell came. He never moved, as he had received 2 bullets in his forehead and some in his body. Martin, the next man, was severely wounded. A bullet went into his horse's forehead, out his neck, through Martin's thigh and out along the flap. Jack Bonner, after seeing that Billy was dead, ran to and helped Martin from under his horse. Wessel got a bit of shell. Okay, well, I'm on one of these little road trips, this time over to Gippsland, which is, well, it's east of the state. It's a long way from my place already, done about 250 kilometres. But there is method to this madness. I'm going to visit my friend at the end of the day. But our first Boer War monument, hopefully, is in here, and I can't get any reception on my phone, so I can't see what it is. I just know it's here. But I think, because I remember looking it up a couple of days ago, I think it's like a plaque or a picture board, like we saw in Hamilton. So we'll go in and see if they know what I'm talking about. So these are the southeastern suburbs. Well, they're not suburbs, southeastern districts Right, so I'll turn the Osmo off before we go in, and we'll ask the locals if they know what I'm talking about. So I'm just here at the Warragul RSL, and they've got lots of great memorabilia. Do you put on meals and that here, or not so much?
Once a month for members,
Okay.
friends and guests.
Okay. But this is what we're here for. It's quite a small, it's about A4, I suppose. It's on the monument's website, but you'd walk past it, you wouldn't notice it. So it's beautiful artwork. It's saying the members of the Victorian contingents for the Shire of Warragul. Should have bought my glasses, but there's 11 of them listed, from privates, corporals. Beautiful. There's those leather bandoliers, are they called?
Bandoliers,
They've all got the little caps. These would be the Victorian contingent. The West Gippsland Gazette, Tuesday the 15th of January 1901, a souvenir of the war, presented to the Warragul Shire Council in honour of the troops from the Warragul district, a graceful compliment. It reads, the many expressions of admiration and praise of the gallant exploits performed by the Australian troops in the South African War, and especially those from this part of Gippsland, assumed a concrete form some 5 weeks ago when the residents of the district, at the welcome home and social to the troops, presented the men from the Warragul Shire with a handsomely mounted and framed group of their photographs. Through the forethought of Lieutenant Farrar, Victorian Rangers, an extra group was ordered for presentation to the Shire Council, and at the meeting of that body on Wednesday last, the ceremony of presentation took place. Councillor P.J. Smith, when introducing the deputation, said it was the desire of the residents, represented by the deputation, to ask the Council's acceptance of the souvenir as a memento of the splendid work done by our troops at the seat of the war, and to commemorate the safer arrival of those who had once more returned to their native land. The occasion was one of unique interest to both the people of the district and to the council, and he quite coincided with the committee in their desire to perpetuate the historical significance of the occasion by presenting the photographs of the men to be placed in the council chamber. Hear, hear. Mr. J.L. Parks, who had been selected by the deputation to set as spokesman, said the high honour had fallen upon him of asking the council's acceptance of that memento, to perpetuate the memory of those who had fought so nobly in the cause of their Queen and the Empire. Yeah. He felt assured that the councillors would fully appreciate their desire for peace, a desire to place on record their sense of admiration and esteem of the men who had fought so well in the service of the Empire. In recognition of the splendid work which they had accomplished, the residents of the district decided to ask the council to permanently place their photographs in the council chamber of the Shire. Lieutenant Farrar, who acted throughout as secretary to the movement, said he hoped that the souvenir which they were presenting the council not be the only picture to adorn the walls of the council chamber. If he might make the suggestion, he thought an enlarged photograph of the swearing-in ceremony of the Governor-General and of the opening of the Federal Parliament by the Duke of York might be obtained. These would form the nucleus of a museum of interesting events. Later on, groups of the President and councillors might be added, thus connecting the past with the present in the service of the municipality. Hear, hear. The President expressed the thanks of the councillors for the happy thought which suggested the presentation of such a suitable souvenir to commemorate one of the greatest historical events in the history of Australia. He felt sure he would be echoing the sentiments of the councillors and ratepayers in saying they would be delighted to have the pictures of the men who had done such excellent work in the services of the Empire, and the souvenir would adorn the walls of the council chamber. Hear, hear. The suggestion made by Mr. Farrar in reference to the swearing-in ceremony by the Governor-General and the opening of the Federal Parliament was also an excellent one, for it would mark an epoch of vital importance in the future history of the Australian nation. It was intended, however, to present a handsomely illustrated joint address to the Duke of York from all the municipalities in the state, and it was possible the various councils might be able to obtain a copy of that interesting document. He again thanked them for the handsome souvenir of the returned troops, which in future would adorn the walls of the council chamber. The deputation then withdrew. Doesn't list where they served, but residents of Shire and Warragul. Just lucky it's been saved, you know. These things go missing, they're so small and forgotten.
Pretty good collection, really.
Alright, thanks for that.
No worries.
Okay. Are you the historian, the researcher? Or?
The guy there, so one who's done most of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did a talk at the Kyneton RSL. I went to South Africa last year to see the Boer War battles, where the Victorians served. So I put on a little video 2-hour presentation to them. They seem to enjoy it.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Well then, no worries.
Bye-bye. Hello, sir. An old digger coming in. Probably fought in Tobruk or something. So, a little underwhelming. My phone did start working as I got in there. As I said, looked about the size of an A4. I guess it was original. I guess it was made at the time by somebody. Oh, look at that. Pro Patria. South African Military Veterans Organisation of Australasia. I'll get a photo of that for Bryant. Alright, stop recording.